Let's start from the story because that's a lot of why I created Little Shameless Plug is my story. It's because I'm an actor and I saw this huge tool, both sides of it actually. I was doxxed and then realizing how powerful it was and how it can actually get people to see the fabulous thing that you're making and share your joy and your voice with the world. And so that's why I started this company, is because I saw too many creatives getting lost. There is no studio system anymore that's going to take care of you. We are our own studio system. I don't work with just creatives, but it was that desire, that knowing so deeply that we have a special message and we have this free tool to put that message out to as many people as you want.
So welcome to the podcast, Lauren. I'm really excited about this conversation because I love talking to people that are using social media in a way that lights you up instead of just kills your dreams. So welcome.
You're so welcome. I'm happy I can be the anti-dream killer on your podcast.
I know that there's stigma out there and that I bring my own into the show because, hey, it's my show. And I have had so much struggle and I've seen people struggle with social media. But when you reached out, you pitched me and I looked at your content, I'm like, holy crap, I have to have this conversation because the way you're presenting it is so different. So I've got to know, Little Shameless Plug, where did that come from?
It's a fun story. So years ago, I was fired as a waitress. I was fired. And I remember very clearly walking home at that point and knowing that I wasn't ever again going to trade my hours for a paycheck. I wanted to do something that was going to benefit people and benefit the world. And because I'm an actor, I'm naturally a creative, and I had been doing social media to support a web series that I created, Craft Up Nice Things. Go check it out. And so I was in this little course, shout out to the city of Van Nuys, who helped teach women how to open businesses. And someone had been chatting and I stood up and I was like, oh, Little Shameless Plug. I just want to tell you that I'm actually going to be doing social media and this is my business and blah, 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 blah. And after my spiel, the whole class was like, that is such a good name. And I was like, what is? And they're like, Little Shameless Plug. And I was like, oh, great. Good. So Little Shameless Plug was born, and that is my company. And we are going on 10 years strong.
Ooh, I love when things just unfold and naturally come out. That's kind of how this got its name, how everything that's ever got its name was like, that'd be a good name. And I love that that's what you're bringing. So what is Little Shameless Plug? What has it evolved into over these 10 years?
Little Shameless Plug. I started the business, like I said, because I knew social media was helpful, but I also started the business because I don't like social media. I had a very horrible experience. I am very clear that this is a harmful space. And then I had this other experience that was super positive, and I was able to get my web series in front of a bunch of people, including Tom Hanks's wife, who I can never remember her name, but I know she knows my podcast or my web series and who we are. And so I knew this was a powerful tool. And I was like, if we could just protect ourselves, if we could somehow protect ourselves from the bad stuff, but I could show people how to actually share their voice and their message with the world, wouldn't that be great? Because that's kind of what I do as an artist. My whole reason for being an actor is I want to tell the stories of the world so we can create empathy among human beings. And social media does that too. So Little Shameless Plug, we have two phases of the business. One is the full side where full service, we take care of everything for people and we fully curate and create your content. And the other side is we consult and we help you understand how to apply these methods to your own social media so you don't have to get burnout or feel like you have to make reels 10,000 times a day or really be scrolling the feed endlessly where you're like, I don't even remember why I got on here. So that's Little Shameless Plug in a nutshell.
Oh, I'm like, okay, yes. Okay, now we've got Jen.
How much did I call you out?
Maybe I should give social media a chance because it has been, I did it wrong. A lot of us start and we get sucked into these, I don't want to,
the should
fantasy. The fantasy and the should. And we get in and I feel like it's diet culture. I hate to call coaching out, but I feel like it's diet culture. And I've spent $150,000 on coaching programs on top of my master's degree in marketing, mind you. That's what I graduated with. And I still was like, social media burns me out. You just said something that is so important. That's we don't have to create as much as we think we have to create. We don't have to like, how do we do that? Like, how do we know what's enough? How do we protect ourselves from this hustle and this overwhelm and this like desire to be like, hey, I'm wearing this badge of honor because I posted 20 times today.
Yeah, like I did the 30-day challenge. Aren't I fantastic? I do not believe in 30-day challenges. I don't believe in like stressing yourself out like that. It's the thing about all of this advice you hear on social media is that it's normally coming from one of two sources. It's coming from an influencer. Now, I don't know about you, but I didn't start my business so I could be an influencer. Or it's coming from a social media manager like me who spends 40 to 60 hours a week doing social media. You are a business. You do not have 40 to 60 hours a week to do your social media plan. So when I started way back in the day, I was like, okay, if I can really lean into engagement for the people I'm working with, and if we can create good content on a reliable schedule and really lean into the engagement, does that do the same job? And it does. Because the other thing is most small businesses, like I need 10 clients in my main program every year. 10. That's it. That's all I need in this consultation program. I don't need 10,000 followers to get 10 clients. I invite everybody to come look at my Instagram. Like my Instagram is so tragic, y'all. Like it is so sad at lauren.litt. And I have 620 something followers at the moment, but I get people enrolled when I'm ready to enroll. And it's because I am so engaged with them and I'm actually having conversations with people and not just posting constantly because that takes time.
Oh, okay. Called out again.
I recently created a quiz and I was like, okay, so the people that I talk to, when they come to me, you're either the post ghost, right? Meaning you're posting all the time and you're not actually engaging. You are the sprinter, meaning you've committed to some kind of social media and you're like going along and then you get totally burnt out and then you're gone. Okay, so you're also a sprinter. You are Miss Savvy. You have a marketing background, so you're probably also Miss Savvy in that you're like, I know how all of this works and I'm going to look at the numbers and I'm going to judge myself based on these numbers. Okay, good. I can't remember my fourth person, but like these are the people that come to me. I'm like, social media is not hard. I don't remember who I heard this thing from, but more than half Americans believe that chocolate milk comes from brown cows.
What?
The reason I want to share this with you is they built social media for all of America, including those 50% of people who think that chocolate milk comes from brown cows. It's not hard. It just takes time and a little bit of education and protecting yourself in order to get it. I know you're shocked that more. I know. It's something like 53%. I couldn't believe it. Do we need to talk about the cows? You said you were a ranch girl.
I'm like, oh my goodness, this hurts my brain, but it also like drives home a point of why we're so burnt out. You know, like you said, we've listened to the wrong people. We're listening to the people that have the time. This is their whole business and influencers. And I see this a lot. I see this a lot on the podcasting side too. The people that have come off of social media to come into podcasts is they're looking at the numbers, the wrong numbers. They're trying to be that like, why didn't I get this many downloads? Why don't I have this many followers? But I'm like, what's your bank account saying?
Yeah. And that's the thing, right? So when I work with people, we try and really remove the vanity metrics. I don't care about how many followers you have. I don't care unless you're a brand new account and we're like, oh, we actually have to figure out who you want to talk to, but I don't care about your likes. What I care about is, are we getting the conversions that you're looking for? So your first step as a podcaster, as a business person, as an entrepreneur is to say, what do I want this platform to do for me? Is it get people on my newsletter list? That's great. Is it get sales for my course? Great. Okay, so let's get very specific and then let's tailor all of your efforts on the platform to that goal. And you don't have to be posting every day in order to make that happen. This is the last week of a once a week posting challenge for people on my page who 9 people said yes to. And in just 3 weeks, seeing them post once a week, they're all seeing a difference in how their content is going because it's hard. It's hard to be showing up every week, but you can do it.
Oh, that feels freeing. Like saying, like
Good.
posting once a week, it feels freeing because I think the other side of it is that when I got really into listening, like you need to post at these times, watch your metrics, and then you need to have these real things. Oh, but you forgot stories, so don't forget.
Mm-hmm.
I checked out of my life so much that when somebody asked me, who am I couldn't even say my name because I was so like trying to be this influence on social media,
Mm-hmm.
watching the wrong things that I had lost who I was. And I think it's really cool. Like what you just said is so powerful because that's breaking so many beliefs right now to me. And I'm sure to my listeners, and I know to my clients who are
Yeah.
listening to this, like you guys, like you may see some social media stuff coming back into our programs.
And the thing is, like, we can't be everywhere all at once. Everyone is looking to these influencers or these coaches that you want to be. Those people have been in business for a very long time. They didn't just start yesterday. And I'm sure with your work as a podcaster as well, it takes time to get to the level where you're at. There's no shortcut. There is only the fact that you can show up every day doing your best. And eventually, over time, you will get there. Over time, your social media account will be profitable to you. And I like to say, I didn't start my business because I wanted to make money for 30 days and be done. I started my business because I wanted a business to support my life. And therefore, any marketing I'm doing needs to be an ongoing process. It can't be something that I'm just doing for 30 days and then forget about. So look at your schedule, look at how much time you have for marketing. And if it's 1 hour a month, great. Let's start with 1 hour a month and figure out how you can make the best of that 1 hour. And then do that every month. And then once you're like, oh, maybe I can get a second hour next month, like then let's build up the muscle of marketing for your business on social media.
Oh, I'm like, there's so many things. I have so many questions now. I don't even know where to start because I haven't had an intriguing conversation about social media because it's always felt so overwhelming and this is not overwhelming. And I'm like, okay. So because this is like going within and finding that inner authority, I think it's so important that you're like, okay, evaluate what you truly have time for right now.
Yes.
Evaluate what you truly want to talk to and who you truly want to talk to, and then start building. Because I think so often we get to the point where we're like, let's just throw it all up. Like we're going to do all of it, be on all the platforms. Oh no, somebody said LinkedIn's the best thing. Now TikTok. And I mean, was anybody on Periscope ever? Like that was like here and gone.
Yeah, a couple people. Yeah.
Like the Clubhouse here and gone, or MySpace. Like MySpace.
Oh my gosh, MySpace was my love. I spent my early 20s so much time creating my MySpace page. And the song, do you remember where you could put the song and it was like the mood with the background and you would put like the glittery? Oh my God, I loved my MySpace page. I loved it so much.
But it seems like now, from what I'm hearing from you, is that it can be built. You can truly build a social media that supports your whatever it is. Like whether that's an impact because you want to be an advocate for something, your business, just your lifestyle, you can create this on your own terms. Am I hearing this right?
Absolutely. Not only can you do that, is absolutely what you need to do. Like this platform is so powerful and it is changing so much, y'all. Like with AI coming in, we're going to see a whole new renaissance of how we're using these platforms. But there's no other way where you can literally connect with anyone on the planet. That's so mind-blowing and exciting if we use it as a power for good, you know? And I think that when the people that I'm interested in helping are the people who have a special message that they're like, I really need to get this out there. And for some reason, we hold back because we feel like we need to be ready or it needs to be the right time or like you're not good enough or whatever. And the truth is, you were put on this planet to deliver that specific message. So let's get you on social media so we can start spreading that and really uplift the planet because, oh, dear Lord, do we need it now? Like, it is scary out there. We need your good messages, even if, so I have a client, Bob, he sells olive oils and vinegars. Like, he's not changing the planet, but he is changing health. He is changing the way people eat in a better way. And that's a great thing, you know? So however you are showing up, whatever it is that you're doing, whether it's crocheting or like you said, being an advocate, like these platforms will make the world a better place if you were sharing that deep, heartfelt message, your reason why.
100%. And that is exactly like the core message of this show, because it's like self-love is sharing your story. Self-love is being authentic and showing up for yourself. And it ends up serving those around you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Hurt people, healed people, heal people. If we can all live more in the space of how can I do my best today and how can I help others do their best, I think a lot of the problems in the world might be solved. So
yeah,
I don't know. That's world peace. Let's hope for it.
It starts one person at a time.
If it's my Miss Universe answer, world peace.
So because most of my audience, I'm going to say like 99% of my audience is entrepreneurs or some sort of business owner, whether they associate with that word or not, that are getting burnt out because they are over showing up. Like, where do we show up? There's so many platforms out there. Like, how do we pick and choose? Like, do we repurpose to all of them? Because it's like somebody says, post this to this TikTok. There's a reel.
Yeah.
Like, it becomes like even the repurposing becomes over.
I'm overwhelmed just listening to you right now. But yes. Okay. So my coach, my fabulous coach, Dallas Travers, years ago told me, do less more often. And I apply this to everything in my life. And I want you to apply it to social media. If we are starting from scratch, or even if you're like, yeah, I've got accounts everywhere, but I haven't really touched them in a long time and I don't know what to do with them. Let's start with one. So to answer your question, how do we know which platform to be on? Everybody's everywhere, but let's start with what do you like? If you like Instagram, great. Let's start with Instagram. If you like LinkedIn, fantastic. LinkedIn's your spot. The majority of LinkedIn is a little bit more business to business. It's a little bit of a more mature audience. The price point is higher. So if you sell a large offering, LinkedIn is a really great space to be. Instagram's lower price point offers, you're looking at mostly women, somewhere in the 30s to 40s. So if that's your audience, that's a great place to be. Pinterest, women and men use Pinterest. It's a fabulous platform. And actually, it's the number one converting social media platform. So if you sell any tangible thing, people are looking to click and buy on Pinterest. So that's something. Each of these platforms has a benefit to it, but really, what do you like? What are you already on? Let's kind of figure out who your audience is and then just start. And don't start on 5 platforms. Get really good at one platform. Get actual sales conversions happening from that one platform. And then you can be like, I'm on Instagram. I'm going to add Pinterest. Cool. Now you have 2 platforms, Again, we're not in business for a short time. I want you to build a marketing habit that's going to last you.
Ooh. Yes. I'm like, yes, please. Where were you 7 years ago when I started this business? And
I was here. I was a little shameless plug. I was here.
I don't know you. I don't know. Again, why I love podcasting, because I get to connect with other people. And that's one of the things I love about this. But I also love that you can connect on social media in the same way. It's just, I always felt safe on podcasts. I don't know why. But yeah, so because this is what you do and you coach, and this is what Little Shameless Pug helps you with, there has to be a moment when you were on the other side of this, when you were doing what most of us are doing right now, that is literally like making us want to jump out of a window on occasion.
Soul sucking. So I am an actor, and I've been an actor my whole life, like my whole adult life. My first professional job was when I was 18, had my card and everything. And I very much fell into I need to be pretty and cute and sharing all of these photos and really focused on how I was looking and how often I was posting, and did nobody comment? Oh my God, I've got to delete that post because it's not good enough. Very, very much fell into that before. Like I shared, I was attacked on social media for, of all things, a commercial I was in. Like, people, can we calm down a little bit? It's a commercial. And at that point, I actually swore off social media because like they posted my phone number. They called me a whore. Like it was so awful and scary. I had someone leave me a voicemail, like heavy breathing. And I was like, okay, I'm done. I never want to be on anything ever again. And so when I say I totally understand how scary this place can be, I totally understand how scary this place can be. And yet I still have a business because it's that powerful. And I don't think that we should just let this power rest in the hands of the people who are going to bully us. We have to stand up.
Oh, yeah. And wow, what a comeback. I mean, I'm not sure many people could come back from that kind of bullying. Because, we all get the trolls. I always find when I get the trolls, I was like excited because I'm like, somebody took the time to troll me. I'm like, way to go, Jen. You are standing up for yourself because you have pissed someone off. Even if it is for something stupid.
Yeah. And the thing is, when my clients are really stressed out about a bad comment or a bad review or whatever, I view it as, oh my gosh, what a beautiful, beautiful customer service opportunity we have, because we have someone who is so clearly not your person that we're able to then really show everybody else, one, how we're going to deal with this bully, and two, like how awesome of a company you are that you've like responded and you're doing things. Like, I'm not saying bend over backwards, but when I see like a restaurant that has all 5 stars, I'm like, that food must be terrible. They've probably bought people and they're like fake reviews, right? You want to see the bad review because then you want to see the people being like, we're so sorry you got the wrong order in your takeout. Let us know, and next time you get 10% off. I'm like, yes, I will go to that restaurant. These are opportunities to show how you are online. And if it's the bullying kind of bad comment or bad review, one of our clients is an advocate for LGBTQ+, or one of our older clients. And we had to deal a lot with this friction on their social media platform. And the thing that we wanted to do, but we didn't, was to just delete. When bad comments come in, if you just delete them, you're kind of gaslighting your audience to pretend like this doesn't exist in our world, when it very much does, and it's very harmful. So for those kind of hurtful, hate-fueled comments, respond. This is not something that we accept on our platform. This is what we do. And if you continue, you will be reported and blocked. And standing up for what you believe in and standing against that voice of hate, don't get involved in a 20-comment stream, but like that shows people like, I am in a safe space. Yes, this does happen, but there are good people out there too. It is hard to deal with those things. And I never want people to be the object of hate. But when we can show them that there's as many people on the good side as there are sitting in your basement, hate field, commenting on things, that's when we start to win. So.
Ooh. Yes, I love that. And I've always had the urge to delete. And some of them I have deleted. Some of them I've had those 20 comment back and forth.
Which it's so satisfying. And then you're like, that was terrible. Like when you're in the moment, you're like, yeah, that's the comment. I'm going to win. They're never going to win. Never going to win.
I love that social media can be an extension of self and give you a voice. Like I've heard you say that a few times, which is my huge message, is like, that's why I like podcasting. That's why I like showing up, is like your voice, your story is going to leave an impact.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, what else are we here for other than to authentically be the weird, unique humans that we are, experiencing this thing and sharing it with other people.
So because you say the weird, unique human, what is the strangest thing that you have shared about yourself on social media?
I mean, y'all, I make my dog's food.
Hey, me too.
I'm among good company. Like, I just think the power of food, we really, really, I've seen it in my own life, in my own health. And when I think of feeding my dogs dry, burnt kibble, like, I love them so much, and I just want them to be their healthy best selves forever. So I make my dog food.
And you share that.
And I share that frequently, actually. When I coach with people to help figure out what kind of content we're sharing, I use this 30-30-30 rule, and I know it doesn't add up to 100, but we're just going to pretend that's not happening. So 30% of your content should be about your business. Like, what actually do you do in your business? How do you help people? 30% of the content should be your passion. This could be what fuels your business. This could be maybe you're passionate about having time with your children, whatever that is. And then 30% of the content should be super unique to you. It should be things like me making my dog food, Or I don't know, my husband and I like to RV and like go out in the middle of nowhere. Like those things are kind of what makes me me. I love doing craft projects, like I paint my walls and stuff. Other people aren't like that, but it gives people an in to talk to you. They'd be like, if you saw me being like, I've made my dog food and that's why I bought an Instant Pot and that's my whole like reason for living, you'd be like, I make my dog food too. And then we could have a great conversation and then realize that, oh yeah, and also we both believe in heart-centered businesses and how could we like move this to the next level? So 30, 30, 30.
Oh, yep. I was doing it all wrong. All wrong. All wrong. Thank you, universe. May I have some more? Because I think that that's the whole thing is like I've seen people like personal brand is so important, but it's like, where is that line? Like, okay, I've gone so far with sharing my life, but I forgot to put a call to action. Like, hey, I do have a business. So now I'm spinning my wheels, creating all this content, letting people get to know me, but they don't know that I do whatever it is. I sell this product. And then, yeah.
People are either selling too much or not at all. And neither of those is actually going to work for you. So, and it's easy, right? Because you're like, oh, I'm going to get on this platform, I'm going to sell. And you're sell. And you're like, why isn't anybody paying attention to my content? It's like, because nobody wants to hear about your microphone cover. Like we've all heard about it already, So, or you get into that like, oh, I have to be this personality and doing this thing. And you forget because you're like, when do I sell? When does that happen? How do I do that thing? So there's 2 rules of marketing that you can apply to social media, which work really great. One of them is called the rule of 7. And it's really more like 10 to 12 at this point. And what this leans into is that you have to share your message at least 7 times before someone even acknowledges it. They don't even know that it has happened. Like literally, I sent an email out and then I just copied it and put like the bottom into the main email. And I had people responding like, this is so great. I was like, I know I sent it last week too. Like people aren't paying attention. And so you have to be repetitive in your message for it to actually sink in. And the other thing is what I like to call the 80-20 rule. 80% of your content should be give. So that's your lifestyle or the stuff or the how-tos when people are narrating what their business is about. And then 20% is, and I offer this service. And here's my product. So we are pulling people into our universe and then selling to them on a regular basis.
By serving them with the next level.
Yeah.
Because we're going heart-centered here because we are not talking to the people that are just in it for like, we're all here to make an impact. That's who I've collected in this tribe. And I really love that. And there aren't a lot of people that I've talked to on the social media, teaching social media, that truly understand that message. Is it's like, okay, let's serve, because we're always afraid of like, well, if we give all this away, then what? And it's what you just said. They have to see it 7 times. You can go to one of my other podcasts and you can learn everything you need. But what you don't get is that support from me. You don't get it in order. You get it all. Yeah. It's just not, it benefits to, come to places like little shameless plug.
Ta-da! Yeah.
To get support.
And it's like when people work with me, it's a shortened timeline. It's a tailored program to them. It's not like you're in a class and you're doing all of this stuff and you're just one of people who are learning from modules. Like, no, we like really look at you and who your business serves and how can we really tailor a plan that fits your life and your audience. And so, yeah, you can learn everything you need to learn. Again, social media is not hard. It is frustrating. It changes all the time, but it's not hard. It's not meant to be hard. You can absolutely do this on your own. But we can speed up your process and apply proven marketing, principles to what you're doing in order to uplift it and make it better.
And it sounds like uplift like your entire life, like the happiness level, because you mentioned the word soul sucking. And it's really funny because I think the last time I did a boot camp, it was like podcasting versus soul sucking social media. I'm like, I feel a little called out again. First off, that I called it soul sucking,
but it is
so much of what. Yeah.
Sorry, I was just like, I don't disagree with you that it can absolutely be soul sucking because it is built The platform is built in a way to keep you on it and to make sure that your dopamine is getting hit and hit and hit. And so if you are a creative person, if you're anywhere in the neurodivergent spectrum, if you are, soul-centered, you become so depleted from that cycle. When you get off, you're just like, I don't even know what to do with my life anymore. Like you're just a puddle. And so we have to set up guidelines for ourselves and say, okay, this is the structured way that I am dealing with this platform. And then I'm getting out. My phrase is get in, get out, get on with your life. Like we should not be trying to run our businesses in our social media platforms. They're a fabulous tool for building marketing and community, but that's all. At least if you're a business. If you want to be an influencer, I have a fabulous friend I can recommend you to, and he can help you build your influencing empire, and you can sell milkshakes or whatever it is that people want you to sell. But the people that I work with have something that they're like, no, this is the message. This is what I need to do. I don't want to sell other people's message. I want to sell my own. So.
And again, go to little shameless plug.
LittleShamelessPlug.com.
This, I love it. Like, I truly love it. I do get stuck in the scroll hole. That is one of my, I put a timer on my phone. Like, you can have an hour a day. And you know how many times I'm like, give me 15 more minutes. 15 more minutes.
Yeah.
Wait, how did I just push that button like 10 more times? It's been 3 hours.
Absolutely. Like when I am deep down the hole of dogs, there's two things that keep my attention. I don't know why. Dogs, anything to do with dog content, I'm there. And moms that hate being moms. I don't know why this is something that my feed is populated with, but the moms that are like, wine time, I just can't stop watching it. I don't know why. I think there's something slightly, like, I'm not a mom. Maybe that's it. Maybe I'm like, yeah, I made the right choice.
Yeah. So how is it that we can protect ourselves when we're building? What is like the one little tip? We don't want to give it all away because we all want to go hang out at littleshamelessplug.com.
There we go.
I love the name. You got to have that name because we're always like a shameless plug, little shameless plug.
Little shameless plug. We're here.
Got that yet?
Yeah. So I like to teach people grounding habits. And I want you to do this before and after you get off of social media. And what I mean when I say grounding habit is literally anything that gets you into your physical body and experiencing the senses and out of your head. So this could be mindfully making a cup of tea, reading a book, taking a walk. I like to do my little like mini nature observations in my backyard where I'll just be like, oh, that plant grew a little bit today. Cool. It's spring, so everything's budding and we can see things. So really just do one of those things, get on social media, set your timer, like you said, and then have a grounding habit scheduled for directly after, even if it's just getting up and walking around your office or dancing or something, because that will break the cycle and it'll get you back to one and you can then move forward with your day. Because otherwise, if you just take yourself off of the scroll, let's say, and also please have a very clear idea of why you're on the platform. If you're just jumping on the platform and you're like, I'm supposed to do things on this thing, all you're going to do is scroll and that's not going to be beneficial to your business. But yeah, and then when you get off, if you don't do some kind of grounding habit, you are just sinking. Your dopamine levels are down and you need to get back into your body in order to refocus and move on with your day.
Ooh. All right. I'm going to start trying that next because, this has been a magical conversation for me because I'm like, oh, right. I've mastered one platform and I keep thinking, I'm like, oh, I should really get a social media presence. And right now it is literally like repurpose, dump and run. Dump and run, dump and run. And I don't want to do that anymore. And it's the first time in years that I have had somebody that I've had a conversation with that makes me not want to put in more effort than dump and run.
Great. Because of what you do, one, just obsessed with how you approach business. Because I created my business and you probably did too, because I was like, business sucks. There has to be a better way to be in business. There has to be a better way to have a life-work balance. And so specifically the work that you do for podcasters, like imagine how many lives you could touch with that space of bringing in more people into community and having them get to share their voice. That's exciting. And I know we said like we're not ripple effect, but a pond can be a ripple, and that's just as effective. So
I know. I just like my tsunamis over here. I'm like, I don't want to work with the ripple because I feel like the people that I've drawn in are the people that are like, I'm going to take a stand. And there are some people that I work with that are like, I am going to make a change. I'm not just doing this to change just my family, even if that changes one person. I was talking to somebody who was like, somebody reached out the other day and they were considering ending their life and listened or saw their content. I forget what we were talking about, social media or podcasting. It's the same. Like, you don't know who you're touching on the other side. Like, your content, whether it's the 30-30-30, any part of that could be impacting somebody that can make a huge difference on their life that you don't even know about unless they reach out.
Yeah. I mean, we're the same. The first rule of anyone who works with me is you have to be doing something good in the world. I don't, like, if you're like, well, I just want more followers, there's other people that will help you better because I can't get behind that for you. I can't support nonsense. The world is too off track for us to be like, I need more followers or I need more money. Like, but why? Why are you doing what you're doing? Can I get behind that message? Because then I can help you. And if you're like, because more Nazis are needed, I'll be like, hard pass.
You're like, exit stage left.
Helping you. Thank you. You know, because that's my prerogative. Like, I get to figure out who I'm helping to raise their voice. So, and you do too. We all get to do that.
Yeah. And I think what you're sharing is so important. And just to reiterate some of the things you said is it's like, yeah, your following is small, but impactful. Mm-hmm. I look at some of these accounts because I get curious, just because I have a curious mind. And I'm like, okay, you have 1 million followers. None of these comments mean anything. Like, there is no genuine connection in there. Like, is this like, what is your influence? Like, what is your influence impacting? Other than, I don't know, your bank account, maybe you're inspiring somebody, or maybe you're just rolling on a private jet or renting a private jet for a photo shoot.
Yeah, you're right. It didn't even take off. You're just like walking up the stairs. So again, because I'm an actor, there was a moment where people were like, oh my God, influencers are going to be the new actors. They're all going to take over. Guess what? They didn't, because they're not actors. And they found that all of these 1 million followers do not translate. If you put that person in a television show or in a movie, one, they're not a trained actor, so they're not going to be good. But two, they're not moving over to that other platform. So what my dream for businesses that I'm working with is for you to have a micro influencer account. So somewhere between the 3,000 to 5,000 followers is what we're trying to grow you to, maybe 10,000 followers. But over 10,000, you actually lose engagement. Your engagement drops because it's too much of an audience for people to support. So that's also something to know. It's like, we're not shooting for 1 million. Like, we want to eventually someday get you to 3,000 to 5,000. And that's the sweet spot. That's really for most small businesses, when you're looking at, I need a couple $100,000 a year, that's what's going to support you. I'm like
speechless right now. I'm in like, you tell, I don't even have a question for you. Cause like, my brain is a little bit, it's not what people are sharing.
If you someday have 50,000 followers because something went viral, and amazing, but that's not my goal for you. My goal is for a very engaged audience, an engaged community. And if we are focusing on that one-to-one, that true engagement, you don't have time to support 50,000 people.
I'm like, yeah, the 3,000 to 5,000 people seem doable.
Doesn't it?
Yeah, it doesn't feel like you've just taken the overwhelm out. And I'm like, oh, well, social media can be fun.
Yeah. And that's not something you can do in a year, but 2 to 3 years, you're there. You've got it. That's totally doable. That's not insane or making little pipe dreams that you're like, I'm writing myself a check for $1 million. You can actually make that happen.
Ooh. So we know where to find you, but is there anywhere other than your website that we can find you?
Definitely come visit me at Lauren.Litt, LAUREN.LITT on Instagram. That's my hero platform. That's the one that I spend the most time on. And I'll absolutely say hello if you come follow me. We'll get to be friends. And I just released this quiz and I just think it's so fabulous and valuable because it really shows you how you're currently showing up on social media and the next step to get to the next level. So go ahead and take my quiz. It's in the link in my bio and let me know what you get. Let me know. I'm just so curious.
Well, I'm going to have to go take the quiz because I want to know. Because I feel like I raised my hand to all of them. So
yeah, I know. I'm so curious what you're going to get. I'm all of them. I'm all of them.
So if someone were to leave with just one thing, whether they take it with them for this moment, maybe the day, maybe a lifetime, what is that one thing that you want to leave them with?
It sounds so trite, but you truly were born with a very unique message. And if you've started a business, it's because you believe that you are going to be able to change people's lives in some way. So don't stop. Don't stop. Even if it's one little step every day, keep going.